What's up everybody, Rylar here. We are continuing our playthrough for this Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD on the Nintendo Switch. Alright, so last time we made it all the way through Faron Woods and we made it here to the temple. There are some things that you can do in the sky if you want, but we're just going to go ahead and just jump right on into the temple. So if you come over here, there is I expected that right first off, but there is a statue, a little sign here that says, "He who descended from above, look to the star that the bird rising heavenward gazes upon, and aim your shot there." So it's kind of a clue as to how to get into the temple. So you can see right here on the, if you look here on the door, there's like a bird right here. If you look up, there is a diamond. And that, if you hit that with the slingshot, it opens the temple. And here we are in Skyview Temple. Alright, so Master, I have bad news. The auras of many creatures reverberate throughout this temple. As a result, I can't isolate Zelda's aura. You will not be able to track her here. Given the situation, I suggest you look around to see where we should move next. So that's just saying that we can't use our dowsing, which makes sense. You can't use, I mean, it's a temple, they want you to, it's a dungeon, they want you to be able to kind of figure out all the puzzles on your own. So here we just cut through all of the spider webs here, and through the trees, and just make your way around. And up there you see some keys, so we'll just get rid of those, and alright. So there is some planks up there. You can't get through that window there. So we just keep heading down the steps. So this dungeon was the kind of like the test dungeon when they announced this game at E3. And so you could play through some of the parts of this dungeon, some of the puzzles. Alright, so up there you see the crystal, but it's being blocked by a Deku Baba. If you hit it with the slingshot, you can stun the Deku Baba, which will let you get up there fast enough to get out of it. And now we can hit the crystal. Alright, so we'll head through the door. So this puzzle was the one that they kind of showcased a lot. So you have an eye that follows your sword, so you just spin your sword around and make it dizzy. And you can read this right here. It kind of gives you a clue to that puzzle. So, he who descended from the sky, lend your ear to the wise voice of the servant who brought you to the firm soil. That doesn't give you a clue. I thought it did. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's just go through the door. Get some more of those slingshot seeds. So there we see a green Bokoblin. It's funny because a lot of the characters in this game, when they see Link, they think he's he's a green version of those bokoblins. And they said you don't really see green ones, but it's funny because in the dungeons you do. The dungeons, they are green ones. So there you go. So there's one. You hit the switch up above the door there, and you can come through this door on the right. We can't go forward yet because it's being blocked by a key. Alright, so if we come over here, there is some Skulltulas. I know the pronunciation for a lot of these is a lot different from... A lot of people will say Skulltula, some will say Skulltula. I personally just say Skulltula. Okay, so I can't hit it down yet, so I'm gonna... Let's see. Somehow make my way... I kind of forgot what I needed to do right here, but I know if you come down here, there is a path. So you can come down this pathway, and up there is another crystal. So you hit that crystal, and that will raise the water level not only in that room, but in the previous room that we were in. And now we can come back in through up above. So now we're back up here. Alright. Now, let's see what Fire wants to tell us something. I detect targetable objects within your immediate vicinity. Well, let's see. Can I... Nope. There we go. So you have to flip it around, and then you can stab it on its soft spot, on its soft underbelly. So you have to like swing sideways in order to get it to flip around. Alright, so this sign says 2 doors lead to rooms left and right, but they only will open when the gemstones are struck. 1 is above and 1 is below. So that's a clue for this previous room. So if you look at this room, in the directions that we were coming, there's a door. So there's a door in front of us, but then there's a door that leads left and a door that is right. And it said the switches to activate it are above and below. So if you look, that one is above. That switch that we hit was above. So that's a clue that the switch to open this one is below. And there it is. So come on up and hit that switch, and that opens the door above us. So just climb up the vines up here and go through that door now. Now that it's open for us to go through, we see another green bokoblin. Alright, now if you look, we can't just flip these ones around because they're on the webs. So we have to come this way. And if you remember, you can use your slingshot to hit these vines down. And then you just aim and swing. And here's a Quadrobot. And now if you look, we're behind them, so you can actually just kind of, you can just stab right through them and get rid of them and make this pathway available. If I can actually hit the ropes, I seem to not be doing very, oh no, I keep getting stuck on it. Okay. So there, now we have this path open up here as well. Cool. So let's head up these stairs. And there's another sign right here. Let's read that. In a room with 2 glittering gemstones, you shall find a temple map. Gaze upon the map until your eyes finds the X, for it is there that you must strike another gemstone to reveal a path. So that's a hint that once we find the map, it'll tell us where we need to hit another gemstone. Alright, so there's a treasure chest right here. And we've got the dungeon map. So this acts as both the dungeon map. So in this game, most games have a dungeon map and a compass for Legend of Zelda, but this one acts as both the compass and the map. So it reveals all of everything in the dungeon. Master, I have information for you. You have obtained a map of this area. You can view it by pressing the negative button. The position of doors and their locks, as well as the position of statues of treasure chests, can be confirmed on the map with marks such as X. However, be aware that you will be unable to use beacons here due to indoor nature of this environment. So we can't use our beacons inside. So let's go ahead and check out our map. So we've been to these 3 rooms here, and if you look, that room shows that there is a treasure chest still. So we want to try and get in there. Let's see. And there's a door up there, so let's jump down here and get rid of these. So these right here, these are wall sculpturas. And get rid of these. And let's come up here. So this, I believe, leads to that upper room with the window. So this just leads to a shortcut outside. But we don't really need to go up there, so let's see here. So let's take a look at our map again. So if you look, so remember we hit this one right there, but then there's another one that we didn't hit and we missed it. It's right there in this room. So we've got to come back into this room on the left. Hopefully the sculptures are not there anymore. So let's go ahead and, if you knew about this beforehand, you could have just hit it. Alright, there you go. So the water level is raised in the center room now again. So let's go ahead and head back there. And now that the water level's raised, if you look, this log is high enough that we can start climbing on these walls, or on these vines. So we'll just get rid of that wall sculptura. And now we can head up these steps and come back into this room. So now we're in the upper area of this room where we couldn't get to before. Oh no, come on. I'm not doing too well on this, guys. No, it keeps wanting to swing instead of jab. There we go. Alright, so now we have 2 eyeballs. So just position yourself to where they're both open. And then just make them busy like the first time. And that completes that puzzle. And you can open this chest. Alright, we got the small key, so now we can open a locked door. But it's only usable, just like most of the other games. I think the only exception where keys could be used outside of a dungeon you got them in was the very first Zelda. So the one for the NES. Other than that, you can only use the keys in the dungeon that you got them in. Alright, so that's everything. Let's just double check here. I think that's everything Cool, so now we can head into the next room. So now we come into like the main room of the area of this dungeon. There's just, it's really big everywhere, and there's a center area, and so you can see right away that there is a switch up there, so we're gonna try and hit that. Alright, and that opens that door, so let's head inside, and we're gonna meet the mini boss of this dungeon. And this is another returning enemy. This is a Stalfos. So with these, they have just 2 swords, and they hold them in different directions, so you just gotta swing in a direction that their sword is not facing, and then if they go for a slice like that, you just do a backflip. And if you look, their ribs disappear. It's kind of their life. So you can tell how far along they are based on how many ribs they have left. And so once you defeat him, it's pretty simple, and they can get harder later on. But once you defeat him, you get this chest, and that contains the beetle. So this is your next item that you get. And so this is kind of like a replacement to the boomerang. So you point it and you shoot it and you guide it with your controller, and you can go pick up things from far away. So this is kind of like the replacement for the boomerang in a way. Alright, so you have acquired a new item. Analysis of this object's insect-like profile and wings indicate it can fly. After launching it, you can remotely pilot the device. The sharp structure on the front of the device can sever threads and deliver a blow to smaller objects. Press ZR to ready the device for takeoff, and then press the right button to learn more about this operation. So yeah, so if you just pull it up here, and you can, so we'll launch it up here, and we'll try and aim up here. You can cut through these spider webs, and you can run into objects. So now that we were able to come out and unlock the door without having to leave the room. So you're going to see a lot of puzzles like that throughout the whole game. So this beetle is going to be really, we're going to use it a lot. It's going to be very useful. So we can spend some time cutting down the Skulltulas. There's some boxes that have treasures and stuff in it, and coins. Oh, I missed out on those rupees. Darn it. Oh well. So yeah, so we're gonna come up here and so if you have an empty bottle, there's also a fairy in one of these. I don't know if that's always in them, but you can put that, you can scoop that into an empty bottle. I didn't have an empty one, but that's okay. I didn't really want to. They're not as useful in this game. Early on they are, but as you get further along, they really aren't as useful. So if you look, there is a heart piece in there, so that's going to be handy. So we should definitely try and get that. Let me know in the comments if you want me to get all of the heart pieces, or if you just want me to do a playthrough of the story. I really don't mind doing that either way. But I'll just get this one since it's in the dungeon. So we'll just shoot up here, and if you look, usually you'll have to explore to find this. But if you shoot your beetle all the way up there, there is a switch at the top of this tower, and that opens up the heart piece lock, Alright, and so we got our first, we got our second heart piece, sorry. We got 2. Alright, and then if you look at your map, this is the way to go, but it's being blocked. So we can either go this way or this way. And since this is kind of out of the way, it's obviously there's something back here. We probably should go there first. So let's head over to where that bird statue is and try and open up this area here first. I'm gonna get rid of it. I'm gonna get this crate first, because maybe there's that red rupee. Sounds. Alright. And there's a switch up above this door that will open it. If you hit the stem of the Deku Babas, it kills them. And that can be useful. That's another way of defeating them. Alright. So let's jump down here to this room. Okay, so we have to figure a way out to raise the water level at first. But let's go in and get the treasure chest. Okay, so now you see that there's... first off, there's a skull chair, so don't get killed by that. It'll just drop on you. But if you look, these two open, but the top one doesn't. So we've got to figure a way out of getting that top one open as well. So if you come up these vines, there is a crate up here, so get rid of the webbing around it. And we're gonna... I'm still trying to get used to the controls and the buttons and everything. So you just push the crate down. And we're going to push it right into the middle of all 3, because that will raise us up enough to get to that upper one. Alright. Okay, so I think I'm just going to push it just a little bit further up. There we go. So then you just make them dizzy all at the same time. Alright, got another small key. Oh, it's not up here. There's the door. I think I do that every single time. I always think it's up there, but it's not. Okay, perfect. So, now that we've got to figure a way out to get out of here, because we just fell through a hole in the floor. But if you aim your beetle right over there, you can see there's a switch. Just avoid hitting all the trees and everything, and just send your beetle to hit the switch. And then that'll raise the water level in this area, so now you can get to that upper area and get all the way back to the end. Cool. So then there's also, if you ever see these trees, again, you can also cut these down, and there's rupees in the center if you can hit the light. Sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not. It doesn't really matter. So then you just go through the hole here at the end of the wall, and that gets you back up to the door, and you can get through it now. Alright, and so now, since we have a key, we can open this lock and start making our way to the end of the dungeon here. So we're gonna go all the way to the other side. You can send your beetle up through those holes. There's rupees, treasures, you can find all sorts of things. I'm just gonna, for sake of time and everything, I'm just gonna go ahead and head straight to the end of the dungeon. So that you can destroy those Deku Babas by sending out your beetle. And just climb the tightrope to get to the door. Alright, so I don't remember the name of this enemy. Something or something, but if you hit the heads, they just grow back. So what you have to try and do is you have to destroy all 3 heads at once. Usually if you hit it once, they all align right horizontally with each other, and so you can, after hitting it and destroying one head, they'll regrow, and then you can instantly do a horizontal slash and you'll destroy all 3 heads at once. It's like the easiest way to defeat them, and you won't have a whole lot of trouble with it. For the most part, you shouldn't have too much trouble with them. Alright, so here we have another, there's a Skulltula blocking the way, but we can send our beetle up to cut it down, and it'll just fall, and we don't have to even fight it. Cool, so then if you hit this switch, this opens up those bars, so now you can just get back to that main room, and you don't have to backtrack. So it's another shortcut ahead. Alright, so if you look, there's another treasure chest right here, and it's a bit different. So that we're going to try and get to it, but we can't go this way. We have to go up this way. So if you look, that he's going to try and climb the rope, and there's now another one behind you. So if you remember from the last video, we did jostling. So we're going to just make these guys fall. At least make that guy fall, and then, oh. And then we'll come back here, and this is always fun. Just knock him off with the beetle. Alright, so, let's see. There's a treasure chest over here. Alright, got a red rupee. And then if you come to the door, Fi will just tell you that it's different, that something's missing. Just like every other dungeon, we need some kind of key to open the big door at the end of the dungeon. So we're going to come this way, and if you see, this rope is tied to this plant, so you can cut the rope. And then if you get on the rope, you can jump to this side of there's vines that you can climb and make your way across the room again. It's a way to get to that big chest that we saw. So you can just knock down these vines. And then if you just swing across the vines, you'll make it all the way to the big chest. Alright, so we got the golden carving. So this strangely shaped gold sculpture is covered in mysterious patterns. So if you remember, that door had a weird shape on it. So in this game, instead of like keys, you get statues that you use to open the door. So just make your way across the tightrope again. And then if you want, you can, before going in, save your game. Because, you know, you're opening the boss door, so there's obviously going to be some sort of a boss or fight across the door. So let's go ahead and make our way here. And so you just grab and move the shape to the shape that it wants, and then insert it, and that's how you unlock these doors. Each one is like a puzzle of itself. And now we're going to go in and see what's in here. So this is the guy that was following us earlier, if you remember. Look who it is. I thought that tornado I had stirred up would have tossed and torn you apart, yet here you are, not in pieces. Not that your life or death has any consequence. It's just the girl that matters now, and I can sense her here, just beyond this door. Yes, we plucked Her Majesty from her perch in the clouds, and now she's ours. Oh, but listen to me, I'm being positively uncivil. Allow me to introduce myself. I am the demon lord who presides over this land you look down upon, this world you call the surface. You may call me Girahim. In truth, I very much prefer to be indulged with my full title, Lord Girahim, but I'm not fussy. Did you really just draw your sword, foolish boy? By all rights, the girl should have fallen into our hands already. She was nearly ours when that loathsome servant of the goddess snatched her away. Do you have any idea how that made me feel inside? Furious, outraged, sick with anger. This turn of events has left me with a strong appetite for bloodshed. Still, it hardly seems fair, being of my position, to take all of my anger out on you, which is why I promise up front not to murder you. No, I'll just beat you within an inch of your life. Alright, so now we fight Demon Lord Girahim. Alright, so his hand will follow your sword, and he'll grab it if you get... See, he grabs it like that. So you just gotta swing out of the way and just try and hit him. The best way is to try and trick him, make him think you're coming over here, and then swing from the other side. That's the best way to defeat him, this first part. And I wasn't able to swing hard enough, or I wasn't able to swing the other way fast enough. But he'll wait 1 second just before. Alright, so yeah, so aim over here and then be quick and go the other way. I wasn't quick enough. Again. Ah, dang it, I wasn't quick enough again. Let's try the other way. There we go. Alright, so now we're into the second phase. So now he's going to pull out his sword. So this, do a shield dash to block that. So when he gets close, use your shield and block him, and then slice him away. And now, swing in the direction when his sword is not. So if it's aiming horizontally, don't swing horizontally. Or sorry, no, I'm sorry. If it's horizontal, swing vertical. Swing in the same direction. So yeah, so if it's horizontal, swing horizontally. If it's vertical, swing vertical. And then just shoot those back at him in the same direction you're facing. So everything's just a matter of doing the same thing as he does. Oh, see, then I swung the wrong way and he was able to block. Well, you put up more of a fight than I would have thought possible out of such a soft boy. But don't clap for yourself quite yet. That sword of yours is the only reason you're still alive. I fear I spent far too long testing and toying with you. The girl's presence has all but faded from this place, which means there's no reason to linger here. Goodbye, Sky Child. Run and play this time. Get in my way again, though, and you're dead. Alright, so perfect. So after defeating Ghirahim, you get a heart container, which will increase your heart counts by 1. So now we have 7. And then that'll do it for this video. In the next video, we'll go beyond that door and see if we can find Zelda. Thanks so much for joining us, guys, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey everyone, thanks for watching this video. If you like what you saw and want to see more, give us a like and subscribe down below. Also, let us know what games made you subscribe and what games you want to see in the future. Thanks again for watching, and we will see you in the next video.